Salutations, ladies and gentlemen. Today we are here to talk about something that I'm pretty passionate about. Super Mario Galaxy. Now, I must make it clear that this is not going to be me talking too much about the video game Super Mario Galaxy. That would take a really long analysis, and you'll figure out why soon. And frankly, it doesn't deserve a small little video like this, or podcast episode. This isn't really a podcast episode, this is more of a side thing. But I have to get this off my chest, okay? Also, you can probably hear I am outside. Yes, I'm outside for reasons I don't want to get into. Just know it was a last minute thing. In any case, we're here to talk about not Super Mario Galaxy the video game, the main subject, Super Mario Galaxy the movie. Well, let's see here. I already did a video like this earlier, had no notes, thus I had to pretty much, ad-lib the entire thing, come up with things as I was talking. But now I have some notes, so now we're hunky-dory. So, Super Mario Galaxy movie. I am excited, but I am not ecstatic. You'll figure out why. First, I must bring up Mario. My favorite video game franchise of all time. Yeah, I love this franchise for like close to 15 years at this point. So, and considering I'm not even 20, that says a lot. Anyway, I don't think Mario needs much of an introduction. If you don't know Mario, then genuinely, you live under a mountain. Alright, not even a rock. Yeah. So, with the new Super Mario Galaxy movie coming out, I should probably say the things that I am excited about, why I'm excited for it. I know it will be fun, because just like the first Super Mario Bros. Movie that came out 3 years ago, not the 90s one, the one from 3 years ago, it was fun, little entertaining roller coaster, nothing incredible, but, it was just a good time at the theater, and what else could you really ask for? So, yeah, that was good. And I'm sure that this movie will be the same thing. A little entertaining roller coaster. The animation, to say the least, will be gorgeous. I mean, the first Mario movie already was genuinely one of the prettiest looking animated movies of the last few years. That's one thing Illumination does right. They really ham it up with their animation to make it as good looking as possible. And from what I've seen from the trailers, it does still look absolutely gorgeous. Probably even better than the first movie, which would make sense. The first movie made like $1 billion. It makes sense if this one has a bigger budget. And the references. Now, I don't think there should be too many references, because then it'll just be references, the movie starring Mario, but still, references are fun, as long as they are well handled. Now, that's pretty much the main things I'm excited for. I should probably get into the game a little bit. Once again, not totally, but just a little brief so you understand why I'm passionate about this. Super Mario Galaxy isn't just a video game to me. Genuinely, it is one of the most important things in the world. To say the least, I love it. I first played the game when I was like 4 years old, or 5, and it was actually the first video game I ever completed. I was that passionate about it. Now, when I say I completed it, I didn't like beat the entire game. I'm pretty sure I got like the 60 stars, and then I stopped because I was like, oh no, I can't do any more. No, please. And especially I saw that number, I was like, that is a big number I can't comprehend. I am not doing that. So I just ended it at 60 stars. In any case, I think I did a little more after that, but I mostly ended after 60 stars. In any case, I then, well, my Wii stopped working, so I wasn't able to play the game for like 6 whole years. Then they re-released it on Super Mario 3D All-Stars on Switch, and that's how I not only played the game again, heck, you can watch the video if you want on my other channel, but it also was actually allowed me to 100% the game for the first time. I played through all 120 levels. Yep. And to say the least, or 120 stars as Mario and Luigi and the Grand Final Galaxies. So yeah, I did a lot. Just, yeah. And Galaxy 2, that's its own thing. We're not talking about that right now. In any case, Super Mario Galaxy had a huge influence on me because I started playing it when I was just a wee little lad. A wee boy. And to this day, so many things about my creativity and my work is inspired by Super Mario Galaxy. The themes, the music, the style, the emotion. Now, they're making a movie on it. Okay? Now, with that, okay, Super Mario Galaxy meant so much to me when I was little that it was starting to sting that I couldn't play it for a long time. Then I was able to play it again, and it brought back so many memories. And it's not just nostalgia, but the fact that it's genuinely a game that I love, my history with it, the influence on me, I can genuinely say it holds a place in my heart. And of every piece of art ever made, video games, books, movies, it's in the top 5. No, it's in the top 3. Like, it's up there with Fantasia and the Godfather book. So, yeah, to say the least, I adore it. Now, hearing that, you probably think, oh, you must be super excited for a movie. Well, yeah. Now, I explained why I'm excited for the movie, but I'm not ecstatic because, well, it's because it's based on Super Mario Galaxy. That might sound weird. What? You love that game. Why are you so weird? It's because, put it simply, this movie will not live up to the game at all. So let's get into it a bit. Alright? It will be a B movie, kinda. Just a fun little entertaining roller coaster that'll keep you entertained for an hour and 30 minutes. It will not be a great epic masterpiece. And I know what you're saying. Oh, it doesn't need to be an epic masterpiece. Okay. I must be clear. I'm pretty gatekeeper here. Like, this is gonna sound like real gatekeeper mentality, so just bear with me on this. Like, the acting isn't superb, and I know what you're gonna say. It's a kids movie, but I feel like the acting in the Mario movie, the first one, was so just weak. Like, other than Jack Black, I do think he did a great job, and he tried really hard. But it felt like all these other actors, and they're good actors. It doesn't feel like they're really trying. It kind of feels like they're just walking in, saying their lines. They're putting a little effort, but it feels like they're just there for a paycheck, you know? And I'm like, eh. Like Anya Taylor-Joy. I adore her as an actress, but in the Super Mario Bros. Movie, she just doesn't, I don't know, she's not as, you know. She's just not, they're just not, I'm not blaming the actors, it could be the directing, but it just doesn't feel like they're putting their all into it, which I guess isn't the worst thing, but considering they're bringing to life some of the most iconic characters that never really got too much characterization, it's a little sad. It will definitely be a Mario movie, but it won't focus on Super Mario Galaxy. From what we've seen from the trailers, there's so much. Like, there's stuff from Odyssey, there's stuff from Mario World, Mario Bros. 3. It's like, it will be like Galaxy from what it looks like, hopefully, but Galaxy will only be like 50% of the movie. The other 50% will be all the other games. I mean, there's an entire spot in a casino, an entire action sequence. I'm sorry, a casino, or like that's friggin' Super Mario Sunshine, and then Wart is there. You probably don't know who he is. He's a villain from Super Mario Bros. 2, one of the very first Mario games. And he's a pretty forgotten villain, which is kind of cool. That's a neat little thing, but I don't know if that feels like, okay, we're cramming a lot into this. But Odyssey, World, friggin' Mario Bros. 3, Super Mario Bros. 2, that's the game I'm referring to. And just, that's kind of the problem with this. Yeah. I'm having a hard time thinking of all the references I saw in the trailer. That's how much. Super Mario Bros. Wonder is heavily referenced, well, primarily with Bowser Jr. And, yeah. Now, I think it's safe to say it is way too early to adapt Mario Galaxy. Like, I'd say that should... A lot of people have said, oh, that should have been the third movie. No. 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 To me, that should at least have been the fourth movie, maybe even the fifth, because the idea of going into Galaxy, such a grand story, such like an intense thing, that is not a second movie. You don't go from the first movie, which was kind of grand but not really all that grand, to something that is like as grand as Galaxy. Like, give me a break. Way too early. They were supposed to... I thought there was going to be Mario World. It was like leaked or something that it was going to be Super Mario World. And that would have been way better than Super Mario Galaxy, okay? And I'm not saying Mario World's a better game. As much as I love that game, it is not a better game than Mario Galaxy. But, like, it would have been better for a second movie, because, I don't know. How do I put it? How do I put this? It's like going straight from Iron Man to Avengers Infinity War. Like, where did this come from? And not like the movies itself, but more like the tone and the scale. It's like you go from Iron Man, which is kind of epic, but not too epic. It's a kind of, a solid little superhero story where nothing galactic is happening. It's mostly just a bunch of cool battle sets. And then you go to Avengers Infinity War, where they're doing stars, we're on galactic levels, saving the universe. Like, what the heck? But, getting ahead of myself. Well, not really. Yeah. It's too early for a Galaxy adaptation. That should have been at least the fourth or fifth film. It looks overstuffed, to say the least. Like, when I say overstuffed, like, I've already mentioned all the references, but there seems to be so many plot beats. Like, Bowser coming, Bowser Jr., getting dropped random places. And I know what you're going to say, when we watch the movie, it'll all make sense. Yes, but it looks like... It's even if it makes sense, it's like, are we going to just be zipping around different places all at once? Like, I'm like, why would we do that? That just seems so random and like, okay, we're gonna do this. Oh, then let's do this. Oh, this. Like, it looks like there's gonna be no time to breathe, and that's kind of a problem the first movie had. There wasn't really any time to breathe. You were constantly in new set pieces. You were constantly doing this, constantly having to pay attention. It's like, there's no time to breathe. Like the most common criticism of the first movie is they should have added like 10 minutes, maybe even like 15 minutes, just to have scenes where the characters and the audience can breathe, and we can just watch and have a solid little time. Not going, oh, we're here, now now they're over there, oh, now we're in Donkey Kong Land, now we're in Yoshi, oh shit, now we're over here. Like, Yeah, and if with this movie being overstuffed, it's like, okay, so we got that. Oh, and now we got that. Wait, what's that? Oh my, now we're here. Okay, what? Oh god, that stuff. Then there's the trailer. I did not want to watch the trailers, but everyone kept spoiling, telling it. I was like, I didn't want to watch the trailer. And aren't you gonna say, oh, you should have avoided it better? I thought that by not watching the trailer, I didn't think every little thing from the trailer was gonna be shot. Oh, we got war. Oh my god, we got this, we got that. And I was like, fine, I'll watch the trailer, you dummies. And I'll admit, the trailer wasn't like bad as a trailer. Like, it doesn't like give away the movie. It's one of those where it gives you enough, but it doesn't like tell you the entire movie. So, fine. And I do feel like there's plenty of room for stuff that we haven't seen, that we don't know what's coming, so fine. I'm not too upset now that I watched the trailer for that reason, the reason of it potentially spoiling it. I'm still not too happy I checked out the trailer because it just doesn't look great. It doesn't look like anything special. It just looks like a cool little kid's adventure. And I say cool, but like, it's going to be fun. It's going to have a lot of cool action, but there's not going to be anything spectacular. Yeah, the trailer just, it brought all of my fears true. That it's not going to be high stakes. It's not going to be this. It's, oh my god. Dude, don't, yeah, I guess that's really it. The trailer just, it didn't spoil too much. It didn't like give you the whole movie, so that's good. But it still was a little it still made the movie look like exactly what I was worried it was going to look like. And it still did give a lot away, like Wart. And also there's this stuff about Star Fox. I really hope that that's not the case. I don't know if that's a leak. I don't know if that's officially confirmed. I really hope that's not the case. I'm like, Star Fox? That is so random. That's even more overstuffed. Now we have an entire different video game franchise being established. Like, are we having like a big Nintendo verse? I hope that doesn't happen. If we get a Smash Bros. Movie, that's gonna be overstuffed up the ass. Anyway, but that's a whole different thing. I really hope that's not the case, and I will have problems if that is the case. But maybe if he makes a little cameo, a little reference, then maybe. But if he's like a central thing and they actually set anything up, no. Anyway, so that's a trailer. Yeah, the trailer was, they were okay. They weren't as good as the first Mario movie trailers. Like, the first Mario movie teaser from 2022, dude, that had me pumped. That was genuinely one of the best teasers I think I've ever seen in the last, like, 20 years. Okay, I haven't been alive for 20 years. In, like, all of my life, that was genuinely one of the greatest teasers. It didn't show off too much. It established enough, and it genuinely was like, oh, wow, we got this. Holy crap, it's grand. Holy crap, it's like this. Oh, my God, it's exciting. Mario Galaxy trailers, not even close. Nothing will beat that first Mario movie teaser. Not even the other Mario movie trailers from the first movie. And none of these trailers excited me either, so whatever. The reviews. I have not watched any reviews, and I do not plan on watching any reviews until after I've watched the movie. Just know that I did want to avoid trailers. And I didn't think we'd get trailers until at least tomorrow, because the movie comes out tomorrow. But I forgot. The movie has likely already came out in places in Europe. And. Oh my god, I forgot that plenty of critics who I watch are on Rotten Tomatoes, and they get to see screenings of the movie for critics, and they release reviews, and what do you know? Not only do they release just Super Mario Galaxy review. No, it's Super Mario Galaxy review plus their overall thoughts on the film. It's like, why would you... And as you can imagine, unfortunately, and this is why I wanted to avoid the reviews, because I was worried that I'd see the headline, oh, it was disappointing, oh no, it wasn't good, and I was like, are you fucking serious? Now, here's the thing. I believe that the YouTubers I saw with those reviews have not played the game, at least most of them. So, and I didn't see that many, I only saw like 3. So I'm hoping that they just didn't play the game, because that perspective does change a lot if you've played the game versus if you haven't, and especially me having immense nostalgia for the game. So I know, okay, I can already tell it's not going to be a thing critics are going to like. I already saw critic reviews saying they didn't like it, so whatever. So the reviews, not really helping, but let's talk about let's talk a little bit about like why the movie's going to pale in comparison to the game. See, adapting Super Mario Galaxy, in my mind, is a gargantuan task. Like, for anyone. It's such an intense, grand game. It's really long. Like, well, not really long for game standards, but for, like, a movie, it's really long. There are a ton of worlds. from the trailer, only one of them is shown, or referenced, really. It's not even really shown. But there are a ton of worlds, a ton of things, and it's so grand, so epic, that, like, making a movie out of it would genuinely be a really, really gargantuan task. And especially doing it faithfully and living up to the game, yeah, that's that's asking for a lot. Now, another thing, the thing about that is, like, there are very few filmmakers I would trust with Super Mario Galaxy. Like, maybe Steven Spielberg, maybe like Stanley Kubrick. No, not Stanley Kubrick. What's his name? Peter Jackson and Christopher Nolan. There you go. Spielberg, Nolan, Jackson. Aside from that, I feel like I can't think of a filmmaker who could really live up to the game. Oh boy. But who do they have making the movie? Illumination. I really, really, really do not like this. I'm sorry, Illumination is adapting Super Mario Galaxy of all the studios. Now, I will admit, there are studios that could have done worse. Like Sony Animation. Well, maybe not nowadays. Maybe nowadays they could do a better job. But like Sony Animation during their dark years, and maybe some other random little animation studios that don't turn out great products or movies. It's not products. Products could mean anything. It could mean show. No, like specifically anyone that like produce animated movies. Like Netflix. Oh God, no. Yeah, but Illumination, the problem is that Illumination plays it safe. Like, they go for what kids are gonna be entertained by, but they don't go for anything that's really gonna, like, challenge them, you know? They're not gonna do anything deep or intense or crazy. Like, they're not gonna make it so parents can also enjoy it, really. It's like, they're gonna play it safe with this, and that's just, unfortunately, the reality of it. But Super Mario Galaxy, I feel like would need a more challenging story. Something that kids aren't just gonna go into, clap like seals for 90 minutes, and then that's it. No, like, Mario Galaxy's more than that, but Illumination, in my mind, is not capable of pulling something like that off. Because they play it safe. They're not gonna go for any deep emotions, intense things, or high stakes. Like, don't even get me started. Illumination is not gonna give it high stakes. Like, the first Mario movie, there were no stakes. Like, and you're gonna say, oh, there's never any stakes, because you know the characters are gonna win. Yeah, but when it's hard to figure out how the characters are gonna win, like, oh, how are they gonna win? How are they gonna win? Not to mention, even if the characters do win overall, they could still, like, kill off side characters, or damage or hurt side characters. And that could actually build up some stakes. That could actually... You know, it's not about the characters winning overall. It's about how many of the characters we love are going to get through. The first Mario movie, you knew every character was going to make it till the end. And, like, the only character that didn't was, like, the blue shell guy. That's pretty much it. Everyone else lasted the entire movie. Like, come on. No stakes. Absolutely no stakes. And this movie's going to be the same. No stakes. I'm not going to be concerned for any character. From the trailer... There's a scene where Bowser Jr. like pins Rosalina to a chair, and maybe there will be stakes there. Like maybe there will be some stakes with like, oh, is Rosalina gonna get kidnapped by Bowser Jr.? That would be really lame. Oh yeah, Peach. We can glorify Peach and have her not be kidnapped no matter what. But oh yeah, kidnap Rosalina. Sure. Ugh. Anyway, we'll get to Rosalina later. But yeah, no high stakes from Illumination. So it's gonna just be. In the Galaxy game, the first Mario Galaxy, okay, it's a video game, so I guess I could understand, but I don't know. But it's a movie. Like, here's the thing with that. Like, Super Mario Galaxy is a game, so you can excuse it for not having like a strong story, because at the end of the day, it does have a bare bones story. Spoiler alert: if you haven't played the game, skip like 20 seconds. Mario goes to a star festival that he's invited from Peach. While he's there, Peach gets kidnapped. Mario gets launched onto a random planet. He meets Rosalina. They collect a bunch of stars. Mario travels to the center of the universe, and he saves Peach. There. I just recapped Super Mario Galaxy for you. Oh, and the universe gets reset. There you go. That's Super Mario Galaxy in a nutshell. Um, yeah, but the problem is that that's a video game. Video games don't have to prioritize story because they can have great gameplay, they can have great mechanics, great visuals, great all this and that. But a movie is not the same. A movie has to have a good story, at least a decent story, at least like. Otherwise, it's a B movie, and like in this case, yeah, we're adapting a video game, but we're making it too much like a video game, really. And I think that's where the problems come in, is that it's not, but that's more of it on a movie side, and yeah, it's not gonna have huge stakes, unfortunately, but that's just how it is. And then it's also they're just gonna be product over art. Like they see this as a product. They don't see it as art. They're like the first Mario Galaxy, art, absolutely art. The game. This is gonna be a product for them, just a way to sell tickets. And it's like the reason why they chose Galaxy is because they know the Galaxy games, specifically Galaxy 1, are beloved. They know that people adore these games. So they know that by doing this, they're easily just gonna, like turn out an easy profit, and the love for the games is gonna make more people want to go see it. Even though, like I said, it would have been even bigger if they just waited. But whatever, make as much money as soon as possible. I'd be surprised if Nintendo didn't try to raise the ticket prices for this movie. Now let's talk about world building. The Mario Galaxy game, beautiful world building, genuinely. You get an idea of galaxies, even though sometimes you only spend not too much time in a certain galaxy. You get all these cool visuals and understandings of like what it's like living in these places. And some of the places are desolate and dark and abandoned, but that's kind of expected, Genuinely, the world building is like, you remember these places. Like, you remember the Beach Bowl Galaxy. You remember Good Egg Galaxy. You remember the Sand Dune Galaxy. That's not what it's called, but you remember Flame Galaxy. You remember Toy Time Galaxy. Like Melty Monster Galaxy. Okay, that's from the second game. The Molten Galaxy, which is essentially Freeze Frame Galaxy. Freeze Flame Galaxy. There you go. Now, this movie is not going to be able to adapt every place, and that's expected. There's like 30 galaxies in Super Mario Galaxy. That might, out of context, that sounds incredibly weird. You'd get it if you actually played the game. Essentially, levels, places you can go to. They obviously can't adapt that to the movie, because the movie is a movie. It's not like you can't just spend 12 hours on it to be able to visit all these places. So yeah, obviously and they briefly show off like Freeze Flame Galaxy, but that's briefly. Like they show it, they fly through it, and that's it. Like, oh, is that it? That's the only reference we get to that place? Okay. And on top of like world building, there's also the characters. Like, dude, are we seriously? Like, it's gonna lack so many characters. It's not gonna have the Penguin Coach. It's not gonna have the old man Penguin. Don't even get me started on like I was gonna say Rosalina's like assistant Luma, but I guess he's not that important. But like King Caliente, the bosses, even though the bosses don't speak, like King Caliente is genuinely a very memorable boss because of his design. The Bouldergeist, that guy, yeah, he was a cool boss. He'd be an interesting visual in the movie. Who even knows if he'll be in it at all? Like this is the kind of thing I'm talking about. Like, we could have all these really cool ideas, but they're all gonna be sidelined. Now, so the characters and world building aside, atmosphere. The original game has beautiful, incredible atmosphere. It genuinely is so immersive. It literally makes you feel like you're in outer space and you're on a grand adventure. It's not gonna feel like that for the movie. It's gonna be like, it's gonna make it the most childish, least magical, not least immersive. It is gonna be immersive. It's just not gonna carry the same magic and deep loneliness that the first game captures. They're not going to do that because Illumination plays it safe, so they wouldn't want deep emotions. Imagination, I mean, the movie looks imaginative, so sure, but I don't know. I mean, comparing imagination with a movie and a video game is hard. So maybe they'll have decent imagination. So I guess I can give them that. And don't even get me started on Rosalina. Okay, let's talk like the storybook in it. That talks about her backstory. I don't know if they're gonna adapt that. I don't know if they're even gonna mention her backstory. Like, they might touch upon it, but even if they do bring it up, they're probably gonna water it down. Like, the storybook in Super Mario Galaxy consists of some really deep themes, some really heavy emotions. Like, it starts off like cutesy and optimistic, but then stuff happens and you realize that this character spent so long trying to help another character that they lost things really important to them. And if you've seen the game, I don't want to spoil this, you'll know what I'm talking about and how genuinely impactful it is. Illumination and modern Nintendo wouldn't even dare tackle such ideas. Okay, because it's dark, and I'll talk about that a little later, but still, the storybook is so beautiful and well crafted and well wrote, and it genuinely gives us an idea of what the character in it went through and why they're so important now. It's not gonna touch upon that storybook that well, is it? It's not. It's gonna brief over it at the very best. And if they do bring it up and go over it and give it the emotion it deserves, I would be amazed, because it has more substance in it than any Illumination movie. Like, entire Illumination movies, okay? That includes the first Despicable Me. And then Rosalina herself. Now, one thing I do want to point out, I actually had a fan casting for her. I actually wanted two actresses in particular. Lady Gaga or Idina Menzel. Lady Gaga, because she could give off the older wiseness of Princess Rosalina. Since Princess Rosalina is pretty much an ancient goddess, like, Lady Gaga could give off the Norse mythology, I guess, with how she can be nice, she can be intense, she can have a demanding and intense presence, but she does give off the wise aspects, the wiseness of a god or goddess, and, in case there's any musical numbers, she could sing really well. And then, Idina Menzel. Now, she's a different case, where she could really pull off the motherly aspects, the comforting aspects, the welcoming aspects, while also having some deep emotions, kind of like she does with Princess Elsa. And Princess Elsa is also kind of a god. Okay, not really, but still. Not to mention the fact that Elsa kind of looks like Rosalina, so it's like that'd be a cool little detail, but no. Anyway, wow. They didn't cast them. I shouldn't be surprised, because why would they? Those are pretty obscure, and why would they? But they casted Brie Larson, and even though I don't personally think Brie Larson would be the best for Princess Rosalina, I do think that she is a great actress, so she will give a really good performance. Hopefully she'll at least put some into her performance, better than the others. Though, once again, as Princess Rosalina, I don't know if she was the best, but at least she'll give a great performance, or at least a good performance, where maybe not the best Rosalina performance, but at least a decent performance. Emotion. A big identity of the first game for me is the emotion. I mean, the Super Mario Galaxy perfects emotion, okay? Like, none of it's now, might not understand when I say none of it, or very little of it, is obvious or in your face until the ending. But essentially, the emotion comes from the gorgeous, ethereal, and enchanting music, the stunning, breathtaking visuals, the comfortable but lonely vibe, the intense but empty tone and the simplicity of it. It all comes together, and it all brings emotion out of you. That doesn't even come from it doesn't come from story beats. It doesn't come from major character revelations. It just comes from being in these places and witnessing all these things and understanding the situation and literally being in a this is like saving the universe situation, but just being enchanted by all these places you visit. It evokes such emotion through just what I said, the music, the visuals, the vibe, the tone, and the simplicity of it all. The fact that it brings out such emotions without major character and story beats bringing out those emotions, and it brings it out through just the feeling, through just being there. The movie's not gonna even come close. Not even gonna. It's not even. It's not even gonna. Hey, doggy. And then there's the ending of the game. Holy mother of God, this movie is not gonna adapt the ending. The spoiler alert: the ending of Super Mario Galaxy literally depicts the resetting the entire universe. The universe literally gets practically the universe almost pretty much ends. It's just the Luma sacrifice themselves so that the universe doesn't entirely die. That's the ending of Super Mario Galaxy. And the movie won't even compare to that. It won't even try. You really think the movie's gonna depict that? It's not. It's not gonna bother. It has Illumination, like I said, is so bare bones and plays it so safe. You think they're gonna go that far? The game went that far because it's a piece of art. This is not gonna go that far because it's an entertaining roller coaster, and why would they depict something like that? So the movie won't even compare. Now I know what you're gonna say, but dude, all you're talking about is dark emotions and intensity and all these things that kids can't comprehend or understand, and they'll be left out, and they'll be sad, and they'll hate. Dude. Kung Fu Panda 2. Okay? Have y'all ever seen Kung Fu Panda 2? That movie is a kid's movie. It's called Kung Fu Panda. A panda that learns martial arts. Played by Jack Black, ironically. Also Bowser. But anyway, seriously, how much more cartoony do you get than that? But when you watch it, it literally depicts genocide. The villain, Lord Shen, spoiler, I mean, this is established at the beginning, so it's not really a spoiler. Lord Shen is literally a Genghis Khan figure. In an animated movie, they have, a character who maybe not influenced by, but at least he shares striking similarity with Genghis Khan. Okay, so when you got a Genghis Khan villain dressed up as a evil white peacock played by Gary Oldman, yeah. And it depicts genocide, it depicts, trying to understand yourself, it depicts realizing that a lot of people have very dark, sad, and tragic beginnings, and the maturity of having to find peace, and most of all, having to make it so your dark past doesn't, impact your future. And coming to terms with the terrible things that happened. That is all dark. But kids love Kung Fu Panda 2, okay? Yeah, maybe the emotions might be too much for some kids to handle, but plenty of kids can handle it because, we shouldn't take kids for granted, which is exactly what this movie's gonna do. It's not. Now, I'm not saying it has to be Kung Fu Panda 2 levels of dark, but it's not gonna depict Rosalina's storybook. It's not gonna even come close to the ending, and it's not gonna fill the audience with emotion, not just thrill rides, not just dopamine bursts. It's not gonna fill the audience with emotion. And the emotion that comes from the first game is magical. Super Mario Galaxy is magical from its emotion, but the movie isn't gonna be magical. Like, when I say magical, when I play the first game, I am enchanted. The emotion, the music, the vibes, the visuals, the gameplay, the characters, the everything. It is so... It genuinely is the closest thing to magic you can get, really. And at least a nice magical feeling kind of magic. And the movie's not even gonna... It's not even gonna try to do that. So, to conclude, this movie may be fun, considering the reviews I saw. It may not even be fun, but it may be fun. Maybe, yeah, sure, fine. Let's say it will be fun, even if it isn't. Whatever. It'll be a fun. But it won't be special. Super Mario Galaxy is such an incredible game, an incredible piece of art. It deserves better than this, than what it's gonna get. Because I know the movie's not even gonna come close. If the movie was even half as good as the game, it would be in like my top 50 favorite movies of all time. That's how high the standards are. So maybe I am a serious gatekeeper here. But I feel like even if the movie was like a really good, like, movie with like a really solid story that evoked at least some of the magic from the game, then I feel like that would be enough. But it's not. It's not. The game deserves a really great movie. It deserves a movie that will be remembered as like, damn, bro, that was a really good movie. That was a really magical movie. That was a really epic movie, because that's what the game is. But it is what it is. I'm going to watch the movie. I'm not going to watch the movie tomorrow, by the way. I'm going to watch it, like, in over 2 weeks. Because my birthday's in 2 weeks. And I'm like, oh, well, this is the ultimate birthday gift. A movie based on my favorite video game is going to be out on my birthday? Hell yeah, but, I mean, I've already said. I'm excited for the fun, but I'm a little worried because of all the other things I already brought up. So, yeah. I'll see y'all. I'll definitely release a review of it. So I'll see y'all in how long? Six. I almost said 6 weeks. In 2 weeks, I'll see y'all and I'll have a review. Okay. Cheers and have a nice life, everybody. We're gonna all see the Super Mario Galaxy movie. Yay.